Welcome, El Toro fans, to the October, what is it today's date? October 17th game for your El Toro Chargers against the Irvine Vaqueros. Tonight's game is looking to be a good one if you just look at the numbers and if you just look at what they've done so far this season. So the visiting Irvine Vaqueros come in ranked number 293 in the state of California. El Toro did move up a few spots from the last home game. They are now 219. Within the southern section, Irvine is ranked 132, with El Toro ranked 101. About to crack that top 100 in the southern section, folks. And then if you look at a more local, we have the OC Register ranks Irvine at 31. Here come your Chargers. Beautiful sea of blue just coming through. Everybody in all blue today. Royal blue for your Chargers today against white versus white for Irvine. So getting back to what I was saying, OC Register has Irvine ranked number 31, and they have El Toro ranked at 27. If you listen to some of those online pundits, both of which from the OC Register picked El Toro during the live broadcast or their stream, but the next day one of them changed it over to Irvine. So people can't decide who's going to win this one. These are two pretty evenly matched foes within the IOTA League. Irvine comes into tonight so far 6-1 for their season's record. They are 2-0 in league. El Toro walks in 4-3, but 2-0 also in league. Now you might say, wow, they must be really good at 6-1. But if you look at the quality of opponents, El Toro's definitely put in some heavy-duty matches against some heavy-duty foes. So they're battle-tested and ready, and they're here to give Irvine a run for their money tonight. We'll talk a little bit about what Irvine has to offer when they get onto offense. Just to give you a brief idea of what to expect, Irvine is all quarterback. He's their quarterback right now for Irvine is their leading rusher. He's obviously the leading passer. He's scored 10 touchdowns, whether he's thrown them or run them himself. And he's got about 72 carries. So for today, Irvine's going to be kicking from the 40, back to receive. It's going to be a short kick. It's going to be fielded by number 23 for El Toro. Fights his way forward for about 6 or 7 yards. 6, 7. That was 23 on the return for El Toro. We have Ethan Rodriguez, 11th grader for El Toro. He was able to fight his way forward. He got to the 32-yard line near hash. That's where we're going to start with the ball today. You're going to hear a lot more background noise today too, folks. The air conditioner's not working in here, so you're going to have the open window experience. El Toro lines up with 2 receivers top and bottom of your screen. Irvine, 3-down linemen. They end up not bringing anybody else, but El Toro wasn't able to get any surge on the line of scrimmage. They do lose maybe a yard on the carry. That was Micaiah Chi, number 2, senior. Speaking of seniors, tonight is senior night for El Toro. They celebrated their seniors. About 32 of them on the football team were brought out with their family and friends in recognition of their commitment and gift to the organization of being a part of it. 3 receivers at the top of the screen, 1 at the bottom. Wyatt Nucci takes a snap. It's a play action. He keeps the ball himself, runs it forward, but he gets tackled by number 3. That is Cole Rydell. He's a tight end defensive end for Irvine. Look for him in the red zone when Irvine has the ball. So far, 2 plays. El Toro's been able to move the ball forward what looks to be 4 yards so far. A little conservative. Inside run. Quarterback keeper, inside run, trying to feel out what they have to offer. Wyatt Nucci's going to be back to pass. He's going to look for Matthew Arroyo, who does not come up with it. The ball was just slightly under him. Slides right under him. It's going to bring up 4th down and 6. El Toro is going to go ahead and punt this ball off. So a little bit of a slow start for the first drive. We're going to go ahead and have number 50, Henry Tingy, the long snapper. Snapping the ball back to number 21, D'Amato. Back to receive is Irvine's number. I can't see it from the side. Let's see if I get a chance. It can be number 18 on the return. But, it ends up touching one of their players. Goes out of bounds. Ooh, it bounced off one of their own players, number 1. Lost sight of the ball, wasn't paying attention to where it was. That was Enzo Cahoon back to receive. It ends up touching number 11, Chad Rosum, a senior. Irvine ends up getting lucky that that ball bounced out of bounds at the 35-yard line, where they will start at 1st and 10. So the Irvine offense is going to go through the quarterback. Quarterback for them is going to be Sina Safarzadeh. Zafarade. No, I'm not going to get this right for a minute. They're going to line up with 3 receivers at the top of the screen, 1 at the bottom. Very familiar looking screen. We bring 5-man pressure, trying to contain their quarterback. And they do. Not only do they contain, they bring them down. Who was that? That was number 83 for El Toro on the sack. That is going to be Carlton Unick on the sack, senior. No, that was 93. Sorry. Joe Luciano. Mighty Luciano. So Safarzadeh, the quarterback for Irvine, comes into this game with 857 passing yards, 42% completion, 420 rushing yards, 10 touchdowns he's accounted for on 72 carries. So their quarterback likes to run. Tight formation, they're going to try to stretch out the field, but he's met by Quattro Schindel at the line of scrimmage. Quattro Schindel says, nope, you're not going to get past me. They gain maybe half a yard. These officials might be a little bit nice and give them a yard, but nope, it looks like it's no gain. That's going to be the trick to this game. They're going to want to go fast. Irvine's not big. Their biggest player is probably number 73. That's Koto Seshimoto, their junior on the offensive line. He's probably the biggest guy that they have. So they're not going to be able to necessarily bully the ball around. They're going to try and get around with speed. They're going to try to get around you and try to out-edge you is what they're going to go for. So as long as El Toro stays where they need to be, they can contain this, it'll be good. So we're going to have a 3rd and long. El Toro is showing pressure. Linebackers are all coming up. Motion man for Irvine, brings 3 receivers at the top. They're going to go for a pass. It's going to be an attempted pass to the outside, and it would have been completed to the back of the bench for El Toro. That's going to be 4th down and a punt for Irvine. That's going to be the game. That's going to be the key to the game for El Toro. Containing their quarterback. If they're able to keep him from running through them and popping off for 6-7 yards at a time, they're going to be able to control this game. Matthew Arroyo's back to return the punt. It looks like Irvine did switch out almost all their players for the special teams. 2 gunners. Oh, that was a very lofty snap. Matthew Arroyo calls for a fair catch. He's going to be at the 34-yard line. So pretty much where they had the ball to start the first possession of the game is where they're going to end up now. A little more room, and he could have done something as far as a return. Let me see, folks. Give me one quick second. We're going to try and make it a little quieter for you. Okay, El Toro lines up 2 receivers at the top and bottom of your screen. Micaiah Chi still in the backfield. No extra pressure being shown by Irvine, and they don't bring any. They're just rushing 3, which is going to give Nucci all day to throw this pass. He ends up completing it to Tau, number 8. Completion will give him what looks to be about 14 yards, but more importantly, a 1st down. So I know you've only heard my voice so far, folks, but I don't want you to think it's going to be another boring Just Brian show. I have Nate Jones with me, everybody.
Good evening, Brian.
Good evening. Here we go. 2 receivers, top and bottom. Now they're going to bring extra pressure off the edge. Makaichi's going to run it up the middle, meet his first guy, and say, "You're not bringing me down. I'm going to drag you for a couple yards." Ends up gaining what looks to be 3 yards. It'll bring up 2nd and 7 for El Toro. That's going to be the bully ball. If we want to win this game and control this game, and we're able to run against them like that, that's going to go a long way, because these boys on that side are not very big at all. As you go through their lineup and you see what they have to offer, there's not a lot of size that they're giving you. Here we go. They're not showing no pressure again. 3 down linemen. That's all they're going to bring. So Nucci is going to have all day to decide what to do with this ball. He's going to roll out, end up trying to look for Tatau again on the sideline. Does fall incomplete. There was absolutely zero pressure on Nucci during that play. He probably could have sit back there, pulled up a lounge chair, had himself a Red Bull on ice, or probably he's healthy. He's probably a healthy kid. It's probably going to be a water with electrolytes. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 7 for El Toro. I couldn't tell what that play was trying to be, if it was trying to be a screen or something else. Bryce Thacker at the bottom of the screen trying to get the play. Snap is good. 3-man rush. Plenty of time. Plenty of time. He's looking big. He's looking for that long ball. He's looking for Tatau again. Oh, just overthrows him. Just over his head. That ball does fall incomplete. It's going to bring up a 4th down and 7 and the punt team again. So far, we have a couple boxers out on this mat that are just kind of throwing jabs towards one another to kind of see what everybody has to offer, to see what they do. Back to receive for Irvine is number 18, Enzo Cajon, or Cahoon. It's a double O, so I'm going to go with Cahoon. D'Amato's back to kick again. Snap is great, and it's up and it's gone. The Gunners are there. No fair catch called. So they're going to try a return here. I would have just called a fair catch, because that's about 5 different jerseys on you to tackle you for what could have just been a fair catch. The first Charger to get to that one was 85, Stevenson. Wearing a different number today, folks. If you know Henry Stevenson, normally he's somewhere in the 50s or so. Throwing on number 85 for El Toro today. Here we go. This is a very interesting huddle by Irvine. So they keep their skill players towards the top of your screen. They get the play first. Then the quarterback comes in and gives it to the lineman while the receivers decide where they're going. They get lined up. 2 running backs set. No tight ends. 3 wide receivers. Press coverage towards the bottom of your screen. Snap is good. It's going to be a cross up the middle, and that's going to be met by everybody. Maybe half a yard gain? Nope. It's going to be no gain on that one. That hole was stuffed by number, I'm going to call it 35 for El Toro. That's going to be John Zamonian, senior. We're going to have 2nd and 9 for Irvine. Irvine does come in only having lost to Portola back in August, their 2nd game of the season. El Toro lines up 3 down linemen. Outside linebackers are on the line, showing possible 5, but they only bring 4. Passes completed to number 0 for Irvine, Kyle Fogarty. Gains what looks to be 6 on that play. It's going to bring up 3rd down and just, oh, nope, it's going to bring up 3rd down and 3 for Irvine. I would assume a pass. They haven't been able to run this ball yet so far. Irvine does have wins so far this season against Northwood, Woodbridge, Laguna Hills, Kennedy, Santa Ana, and Canyon.
Yeah, so far on paper, Irvine has not played a schedule as tough as El Toro's preseason schedule.
It is an attempted screen pass. He bobbles it up in the air and then gets a lick in from the outside linebacker and isn't getting up. So on comes Tyler. But you're saying, yeah, they haven't played any tough opponents so far. I think their strength of schedule has been relatively low this season. which is a great morale booster, right? You can get to come into this game feeling pretty solid, pretty strong.
Yeah, but it could give them a false sense of, of security. They're going to come in thinking that they've done all this. Their record's better. Maybe that's what they were looking for to kind of boost their morale and, their confidence coming into league. But I think having that tougher preseason schedule like El Toro's had and had to go through the ringer, had to travel a long distance for a game, and fall just short, fall a field goal short of winning that game. They've played some really tough and close games against some really quality teams down here this year, and I think that's gonna show a lot, build that confidence. You can see it in a lot of these kids on El Toro's sideline. That confidence, they don't care that they lost a couple. I mean, they care, but they're coming into this with a lot of confidence. They know they've played the harder teams. They've played close games with those harder teams. They very well could have a 5-1 or better record if just a few things go a little bit differently.
So that was Matthew Arroyo on the punt return. He does call for a fair catch. Ball is spotted on the 40-yard line, so that's where El Toro will be taking over. So little by little, they've come up with their starting position a few yards each time. You're absolutely correct. Irvine's only close match was a loss to Portola, 7-0. I mean, I guess they had a tight game last week against Canyon when they won 29-21.
And they were down in that game for a while. They were down.
Yeah, it took some fourth quarter heroics to get them there. Wyanucci's back to accept the snap. It is good. It's going to be a run up the middle. He's using Micaiah Chi as a lead blocker. He ends up sliding to avoid the hit, but still does get hit. Yeah, that was a fun play. You had Micaiah Chi playing the role of lead blocker coming up the middle, and then you had Nelly, the right tackle, fold in and be a secondary blocker for him. So that's kind of a fun little designed run. It does get them 8 yards, second down and 2 for El Toro. El Toro's lined up, and again, Irvine's not showing any pressure. They want to keep 3-man. I think they're trying to stop the pass or run. Sorry, they're trying to stop the pass. Extra people. That was intended for Tatau. That was a pass interference.
That should have been pass interference. It looked like it from up here.
So NFHS has taken away face guarding, right? So you don't have to necessarily turn around to look for the ball. But there was meaningful contact without looking for the ball, continuing to run forward, pushing our receiver out of his position. That back judge should have thrown that flag. I hope he's writing it down. You see him talking to some other people. They have headsets now. I hope they're telling him, hey, buddy, find your flag today. If you need one, Brian's got his extra one with him. El Toro lines up in a heavy formation. Malachi Mena is a wing back. It's going to be a give to Micaiah Chi up the middle. That's going to be a freebie 4 yards, but then he's going to fight his way forward for a few more. Some bad tackling there at the end by number 3 for Irvine. He does get stopped after making a pass to the center of the field at the 46-yard line for Irvine. That is a first down, and those chains will move. 4:34 left on the clock. El Toro's going to move a little bit quicker now. They're going to keep Mena out on the field. So they're only rushing 3. They're keeping players back. They're trying to stop the pass. That's what they're going for right now. That is a give to Micaiah Chi. Finds his way around the corner, finds an edge, gets pushed out of bounds, but after gaining what looks to be 6 yards, ball will be spotted at the 40-yard line. It'll be second down and 4 from there. Yeah, run the ball against this. If they're going to be putting a 3 up there, I mean, that's a great idea. We have the size, we have the strength, we have the grit. So that might be a good way for us to just kind of control tempo here today.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to give that space, let's take advantage of it.
Right. Here we go. Same formation for El Toro. It's going to be a give to Micaiah Chi, this time up the middle. It's going to be a freebie 5 yards before the first person makes contact with him. He's finally brought down after getting a first down at what looks to be the 33-yard line. And El Toro's just marching. Just marching. You're going to give us these yards, we're going to go. Micaiah Chi's going to step off the field. Number 22, McCade Romo, will be replacing him on the field. Malachi Men is also coming out. And Andrew Bozic, number 18, is coming onto the field. So we're going back with a more of a top and bottom now. We do have McCade Romo in the backfield. He's going to motion out. It's going to be the bubble to him. Nope. Nucci's going to keep the ball. He does get pushed out of bounds for a loss. He probably could have got more yards, but he made a decision to say, we don't need this extra contact. It's a bit early. But it feels like a jab. We're just throwing that jab to see where they are. It is a 2-yard loss on that play. The ball is spotted at the 35-yard line. for a 2nd and 12. Here we go. 3 wide receivers at the bottom of your screen. It's going to say it again. 3 down linemen. No pressure is being shown. Nobody extra is coming. Wyatt Nucci's going to throw the ball out to... Oop, that is number 11. Matthew Arroyo fights his way forward to the 30-yard line, gaining 5 yards on that play. It'll give us a 3rd and 7, so 3rd and pretty manageable. But Irvine is fast. They're gonna swarm to that ball as quickly as they can. Here we go. McCade Romo still in the game. Wyatt Nucci looks around, tries to read the defense. 2 safeties. The give is to McCade Romo. Is going to find a hole up the middle. Carries number 3 forward and continues to fight after getting spun around. Finally gets brought down at the 20-yard line. That's a hard run.
Nice hard run by the sophomore right there. Coming off a day where he scored 6 rushing touchdowns yesterday for the JV. Coming in tonight, you can see he's got that confidence. He's got that power in his legs. He's ready to go.
Yeah, that was number 3, Cole Rydell, who ended up on his back, and he carried forward. Micaiah Chi checks back into the game along with Malachi Mena. 6 touchdowns. Yeah, the score was crazy yesterday. Was that 40-30?
Yes, I believe the final score was 40-30. Yeah, 6 rushing touchdowns. I mean, if they just handed it off to him the whole game, they probably could have just. I mean, they could have done that. They could not. Irvine could not stop them yesterday.
That pass is completed to Matthew Arroyo. Our favorite back official who doesn't know how to throw a pass interference call is going to call him short. So he's going to be brought down what looks to be about the half-yard line. We're going to have a 1st down. That was a beautiful pass up the middle to Matthew Arroyo from Wyatt Nucci. The gain on that is probably 19 yards, about as close as you can get. Okay, we're going to line up very quickly. The give is going to be to Makai. Nope, it's going to be kept by Wyatt. Everyone thought, oh, this is going to Chi. Nope, Wyatt's going to go ahead and keep it, pop around the outside, and score 6 for El Toro. That's a touchdown. I love this part of the season. When you get towards the end, you start building tendencies. People start watching a lot of film, and they're like, oh, we know what's going to happen. Nope. Nope. Coach Lofthouse said, I know you think you know what's going to happen, but watch this. Dan Mata's going to be there to kick it. Henry Tingy's the long snapper. Snap is good. Ball is down. Kick is up. That should be good for another point. That is. So it's going to be 7-0 El Toro. Yeah, the freshmen also played yesterday. The freshmen played home here against the freshmen for Irvine. They won that game 38-7, I believe was the final score on that one. So they came out and put on a show. And the same thing. They just ran the heck out of that ball. We completed some passes as freshmen, but overall they just ran the ball up the middle through them. The offensive line is a little bit invigorated for the freshmen. They've got some players back from injury, so it was really nice to watch. So for the first time, we'll see D'Amato kicking off. Number 21 back to receive are a pair of Vaqueros, number 0 and number 18. So number 0 is going to be Kyle Fogarty. Number 18 is going to be Enzo Cahoon. But I'm hoping the end zone is going to be in the end up being the one that receives this ball. Okay. Moving forward. Ball is up, end over end kick. He's going to be going back. And that is an end zone kick that will be brought out to the 20-yard line as a touchback. There will not be a return this time. Ball will be spotted on the 20-yard line as Irvine comes out. All right, let's see what we do now. We've been doing well against the run. Let's see if we keep that going. I was at team meal today, and the energy for the kids, the players as they were getting ready, just felt high. They're obviously they're high school kids. They're going to be joking around, but it felt like a focused, high energy joking around. If that makes any sense. Coaches were letting me know, like, yep, they look good, they look ready. The last time these two teams played, Irvine did beat El Toro, so I know a lot of these seniors remember that, and I'm sure they don't want to allow that today. 3-0 sounds a whole lot better than 2-1. Motion man from the top to the bottom. It's going to be not a give. They're going to float out their tight end, who ends up being covered. They're going to reach across the screen. It's going to be intended for number 22, but Matthew Arroyo breaks it up. He breaks it up and makes them known that it's not going to be caught. That was number 22, the intended receiver. That was Smith Spivey comes into this game with 188 yards and 9 receptions. He didn't get his 10th reception on that one. So the intended receiver was going to be number 3. That was Cole Rydell. He's their tight end. That's who he wanted to. The quarterback was staring him down, but the film watching for El Toro has been on point this year. I think it was Achilles that went out with him. So he had to look down for the deeper threat, and there was Matthew Royal to bat it away. It's going to be 2nd and 10 for Irvine. The snap, the quarterback's going to try to run it up the middle. There's going to be nowhere for him to go. That was the laziest try up the middle I've seen in a minute.
Yeah, there was no hole there, and then it's like he just gave up and let him take him backwards 5 yards. There was no effort in that run right there. No power behind his legs when he hit that hole, nothing.
Oh, I guess they're going to give him what looks to be a yard or 2. I didn't see that, but okay, that's where we are. It's going to be 3rd down and what looks to be 8. The line to gain, folks, is the 30-yard line as you watch at home. Plays coming in. Taking a minute, but maybe that's part of the strategy here. They're going to end up going with 3 receivers towards the bottom of the screen, 1 at the top of the screen, but the bottom receiver is going to be more of a wing back, the way we use Malachi Mena. Let's see what they do with this. It's going to be a pass play. Receivers are all going out. They're trying to find openings. Nobody's there. Quarterback starts to scramble. This is what they like to do. He breaks it from Stevenson. That's why that quarterback wants to do what he does. There was never an intent to pass that ball. Everybody run, clear out the field. I'm going to run this ball. That's what he decides to do. And when you're good, you're good. And you're going to say, I'm going to put the team on my back and do it. But for young Sina Safarzadeh, that's what he says. Put the team on my back. I'm going to run with it. So that's what he did. That does get them a 1st down. They did make it to the 35-yard line. So he got 5 more yards than he needed. It gives them a 1st and 10. Line to gain will be the 45-yard line for the Vaqueros. He's deceptively quick on the outside. He had some little jiggle action there to kind of get away. Let's see if we can learn from that. 4-man front for El Toro. They do bring all 4. The quarterback decides to keep it again, but this time not enough room to use that jiggle. Gets met by everybody on the line. The whistle takes forever. It's going to be no gain on that play. You might want to consider getting a little quicker on that whistle because there was an extra little hit being given that he didn't need to take. That will end the first quarter, though. At the end of the first quarter, El Toro leads 7-0. Ball is still going to stay on the 35-yard line while they flip the field. Yeah, folks, so the last game we had together was Canyon. That was our big win, 27-17. Between that, we went over to Sonora High School last Thursday. Played them with a final score of 35-21. Don't let that score fool you. It really wasn't quite that close. But there is a lot of players that got plenty of reps in varsity getting ready for the future season, so they got in there way early in the game, and that allowed Sonora to put a couple more points on El Toro. But they still walked away with the win, which is what they needed. Currently, if you look at the IOTA standings, Troy High School is undefeated 3-0. They played yesterday. They defeated Canyon. El Toro is 2-0. Irvine is 2-0. And then you have Sonora, Santa Ana, and Canyon without a win. So this is the week within the league where separation actually starts to happen. Because of this game, we will have a undefeated tier, a one-loss tier, and then a no-win tier. There'll be teams that are sitting in each one of those with 2 teams in each. Okay, the field has been flipped. Irvine will now be moving right to left on your screen. El Toro sets up with 3 down linemen. Let's see what our linebackers decide to do on this 2nd down and 10. They're going to not show pressure. And they don't bring the pressure, but they're going to do a little pitch action to number 32, their running back for Irvine. Number 32 is Seamus Hoffman. He's a running back, middle linebacker, junior. So now he is one of their leading rushers as well. He's a 3rd leading rusher behind the quarterback and behind Enzo. He has 306 yards so far this season, 6 touchdowns on 76 carries. Not a very big man, standing at 5'6", 175 pounds, but he's got some quickness towards the edge. That is going to be a 3rd down and what appears to be 4. Snap is good. The give is up again to the middle to number 32. Ends up finding a crease and breaking away. Gets chased down by number 9 for El Toro, who brings him down from behind. That's Noah Cisneros. Just found that crease. The offensive line was able to get El Toro to collapse, and the blitz that was coming in was up that middle, so they were able to seal off that edge, which sprung him on the outside. That is a big gain for Irvine. That does move the sticks and change field position. The ball is spotted at the 28-yard line, it looks like, on the far hash. It's those big plays that can kill you sometimes, right?
Yeah, he just happened to find a little bit of space in that crease there, and was off to the races there.
Yep.
So luckily, El Toro's defensive speed was able to catch up to him, bring him down, and see if they can lock in right here.
Here we go. 3 receivers at the bottom of the screen. 4-man pressure, it appears, but they bring all 4. The pass is going to be incomplete, intended for number 0. Ball was thrown just in front of him and skipped before he can get his hands on it. It'll be 2nd and 10 now at the far hash. Coverage was good, so that ball had to be thrown close to the line of scrimmage to keep it away from the corners, but it was just a little bit too low. If it would have been completed, it might have been a gain of about 2. Okay, Irvine's going to come out with 3 at the bottom of the screen. They're going to keep number 32 in the backfield. That's Hoffman. Let's see what they do. No motion. El Toro's showing a little bit of pressure with the 5-man front. They end up bringing all 5. Quarterback keeps it, gets met at the line of scrimmage. Initially tripped up by Stevenson, number 32. He puts his hand out, slows him down, and allows the linebacker to finish the job. He does gain a couple yards. They're spotting it down at the 25-yard line. So they still have 7 yards to go, 3rd down. El Toro does switch out its defensive line, bringing in some fresh legs. Right at that nose of that defensive line is number 59. Let's see what they come out in this time. Watch the tight end at the top of the formation. They like to go to him whenever they need something middle distance. Running back's going to motion to the opposite side. No shift for the defense. And bring in the pressure. The quarterback finds a way to pop out. He's going to be close to the line to gain. He might just have made it. Nope, they're not stopping the clock. They're going to say short. They're going to call it 4th down and can keep winding the clock. So the clock did not stop. That means no first down. He's probably going to end up being short by about a yard, maybe half a yard. I don't think there's a question here. They're going to be going for this. I would maybe kick it. Get your 3. Get your 3. Get your 3 points.
Yeah, it's kind of an in-between area. If really kind of depends on how much confidence they have in their kicker. You know, can he make this field goal at this distance or not? It's definitely too close to punt, so I think it's pretty much a gimme as you go for it right here.
Yep. Not much talking to the line, so I think they're actually going to go for it. They might actually get us to jump off sides. Here comes a timeout. There's going to be a flag on the play, but it looks like they maybe have called timeout before that. Nope, it's a false start.
There we go. So
when your quarterback bobs his head that aggressively, you're running a fine line, because the way it's written, a false start, everybody says, oh, he moved. People can move. If you're on the offensive line, you can move. The rule is you can't simulate a start. So when your quarterback's head starts bobbing like that, that's simulating a start. And so some officials have a wide margin. They allow that. Some don't. And apparently he felt that was too much. So it's going to be 4th down and 6. An obvious passing down, or they're just going to send everybody really far and let the quarterback try to run. That's my Tony Romo impression, trying to tell you what I think is going to happen. The snap is good. The receivers go out. It was an attempted screen. It does get completed to number 32. He has a wall of defenders in front of him, and he's going to rush his way into that end zone. I think that's going to be a touchdown for Irvine. It was a jailbreak screen. They let everybody in. The offensive line ran out. And when you put 5'6" behind 6'1", you're not going to be able to see them. They ended up blocking the defensive backs fairly well, and that's how he was able to get in there.
I don't know, Brian. I feel like that should have been a flag for the linemen downfield. I mean, they had linemen that were 15 yards all the way down the field before that ball was thrown.
Correct. So now what happens with that? Oh, I hate the swinging gate. It's so dumb. But anyways, when it comes to that, there is an expanded neutral zone. So once the ball is snapped, the neutral zone isn't just 1 yard, 1 yard. He's going to end up keeping it. He's going to try to find a place on the outside. They're going to throw the ball. It does fall incomplete, which is why I think the swinging gate is dumb. It's gimmicky, and it doesn't work. If you're out there coaching youth football and you do this, stop. Seek a group, sit together, have coffee, and talk about why you shouldn't ever do it again. Anyways, the expanded neutral zone then goes from that width of the ball to 1.5 yards or so in front and behind. So the judgment of the flank official is, does that person that catches the ball within that zone? If he is within that zone, then it's not considered illegal man downfield because it's almost like the ball was thrown in the backfield.
Good to know.
Yeah. Was it close? Yep. He was maybe a yard or so.
Close.
Yeah. If we had 7 officials that were paid $120,000 a year to do it, then definitely. But, we have a 5-man crew doing their best, and they're going to call close enough, good enough. Back to receive is number 8, Tau, and I think that's number 33, Devin Kostick. First kickoff. Nope, second kickoff for Irvine. It's going to end up being short again. It's going to get fielded at the 25-yard line. Finds a little bit of room, but does get brought down at about the 32-yard line. We'll see where they end up officially spotting it. That part of the field has a nice glare from the light, so it's hard for me to find out where they are. Maybe the 34-yard line. We're all knotted up at 9 minutes left in the second quarter. Let's see what El Toro is able to do with this one. Last drive was really nice. If you were watching that one with us, it was a great run. Get everybody to sneak forward and start passing behind them. The line to gain is just shy of the 45-yard line. 3-man front. They're going to end up letting him, Micaiah Chi run that ball towards the outside. Does gain about 1 yard before he gets brought down by 3 defenders. Number 7 for Irvine, which is Cameron Galatito, was the one with the initial hit. So we've gone ahead and jabbed them towards the edges of the formation, and they have found a way to bring us down. So let's see if we go back to either running it up the middle or going for that pass. It's going to bring up a second down and what looks to be 9 yards. The umpire or the referee magic isn't 100% working, so they didn't put it on the dash mark. Snap is good. Wyatt's going to keep the ball. He's going to fight his way forward. Maybe gains about 3 yards on that play. Yeah, it's going to be about a 3-yard gain. We're going to have third and what looks to be 6 yards to go. Ball is spotted at the 38-yard line. So we're going to call it 8 to go. Here we go. El Toro lines up. 3 receivers at the top of the screen. 1 at the bottom. Wyanucci is with Micaiah Chi in the backfield. Snap is good. Everybody goes out for a pass. Starts looking. The pass is completed to Tau, number 8. That will be a first down. That's a terrible spot, Mr. Official. He was up a couple yards from that, but okay. Momentum, maybe. Ball is spotted at the 47-yard line. That is a first down. Chains move. Clock is restarted. Yeah, Irvine's getting no pressure. Wyatt has plenty of time to just kind of look out there. The receivers have to work hard because there's an extra 2 defensive backs, in essence, for Irvine.
Yeah, no pressure. They're plenty happy just rushing 3. It worked for them right there.
It did. That was number 12 that comes in for the tackle for a loss. That is Mason Pruce, defensive end, tight end junior. Looks maybe like some miscommunication with the offensive line because he came in untouched. Some of the guards were pulling, and maybe people didn't come down to help take care of him. Micaiah Chi does get brought down in the backfield. That is a loss of 4 yards. Ball is on the 43-yard line. Start of game jitters. I'm going to chalk it up to that and see where we go from there. 3-man front again. 2 high safeties. They're going to be showing some pressure up again towards the middle, but nobody there to help out with them.
Got him coming across. Oh.
It was intended for Bryce Thacker across the middle. His feet end up getting tangled up with number 10 for Irvine. That is Luke Griggs, who also bats the ball away. That is an incomplete ball. We have a third down now. And 14. It's going to be third down and 14 for El Toro. White had plenty of time to get that ball off, so he did find a pretty good receiver. Just the defensive back was able to close that field again. I think what they're trying to do is maybe that little bubble screen up to Matthew Arroyo towards the top of your screen. But it looked like Irvine had that covered. 6:35 is on the clock. Snap is good. Everybody goes out. A little bit of pressure this time. The ball gets thrown away to the sideline. That was our version of the screen up the middle, but it was sniffed out. The lineman ended up backing out with them and going for it. So that does bring up a fourth down where El Toro will be punting the ball away. So a little bit of back and forth. I think they're still trying to figure each other out. Irvine only has 10 players on the field.
Yeah, El Toro almost seems like they don't know what to do with all that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're so used to everybody blitzing them like crazy.
Snap was a little bit low, but it was still handled by De Amato. It's a fair catch called for by number 18, the return man for Irvine. He was standing on the 22-yard line when he did that, so that's where Irvine will be taking over the ball. Yeah, it's almost like all those defensive back, those windows are much more narrow. So even though you have the extra time, but the narrower windows make it a little bit tougher to throw against that. I'm sure they're going to figure it out. Lofthouse and his team are going to get together and decide, like, okay, this is what we'll do different. This is what we'll adjust here and there. They're going to figure out how to get the ball moving against them. Irvine brings their play out in their typical breakneck speed. 6:23 left in the half. Two receivers at the top, one at the bottom with the tight end towards the bottom of your screen. It's going to be a give towards the outside. That was a nasty hold. Achilles' uniform almost came off of his shoulder, but we didn't catch that. It's okay. And we have a pink flag. I hate pink flags. So it's ended up being probably a dead ball foul. We were trying to get the players off of ours. Maybe we were too aggressive on taking them off, or maybe they were going to call it on the player that kept laying on ours. I'm too far away to be able to tell who it's going to be up against, but the white hat took the report. It's going to be a dead ball. Be a personal foul. He's going to have his hand hit wrist very shortly. Personal foul. That's going to be against us. That's going to be 15 yards for Irvine. Added to that play. It'll give them a first down. Like the old adage goes, the referees will always catch the second penalty, not the first. They'll catch the reaction, not the initial hit. But that's where we are. The ball is put down at the 42-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. The line to gain will be 2 yards past the center of the field. They're coming out with their tight end set towards the bottom of your screen on the narrow side of the field. Motion man is going to go up on the screen. Everyone's going to go out for a pass. Ball is going to be well overthrown, intended for 32. The 5'6" running back falls incomplete. That was Achilles Segura covering.
That was a good job by Achilles right there. Instead of rushing in, he caught that guy coming out of the backfield, and he stuck with him up the sideline to maintain that coverage. It was a great play by him.
Yeah. Really nice to watch. This offensive line for Irvine, not very big, but they are quick. They're moving their feet pretty decently, but they are grabbing a little bit on the jerseys here. I'm hoping the referees start to see it. El Toro showing a little bit of pressure again with the 5-man front. Same motion going towards the top of the screen. It's going to be a keep option.
That's a
with a forward
lateral
pass. So it's an incomplete pass.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to be an option play, but I guess sometimes you kind of get stuck in the buffering mode, and you couldn't decide because our defense was actually staying decently within their spots and just kind of containing where they were to go. Play ends up breaking down. He tried to Aaron Rodgers it by throwing it forward. It does fall incomplete. It does bring up a 3rd down and 10 for Irvine. Obvious passing down, but we'll see what they end up doing here. Call comes in for El Toro. They're going to keep their 2 safeties, it appears like. Irvine's going to keep their tight end towards the bottom of the screen as well. No change in their formation. Linebackers are a little bit further back than normal, so we're just bringing 3 men on this. Keeping a spy probably on the quarterback. The ball's going to go up. It was intended for number 19. Is that number 19? Ends up getting hit by Matthew Arroyo. Ball does fall incomplete. It could be 4th down and 10 for the Vaqueros. Matthew Arroyo is going to step back for the punt to return duties. I know he's dying to return one. So not a very exciting game so far. A lot of just like little hits, but nothing's breaking big so far. But nothing breaking big for either one of the teams. Something's going to give eventually. Just a matter of who. Okay. Long snap is up. Not a lot of pressure coming in at the kicker. It's a very short kick, just past center. It bounces right after the 40. It does get a favorable Vaquero bounce. It's going to go out near what I would say is about the 27-yard line. Let's see where they end up actually spotting it. Yeah, it's going to be about the 28-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 28 for El Toro. We do have 5 minutes and 14 seconds left in the half. Defense is going to head under their canopy, talk about what they're seeing, while the offense takes the field and tries to march down and maybe eat up a good 4.5 minutes of clock. Or score fast. I don't care either way.
Either way, I mean, a good sustained drive for ending in a touchdown would be great. But if they want to score quick, their defenses seem to be able to handle Irvine so far. So with the exception of that one big play.
Yep, the give is to Micaiah Chi up the middle, fights his way forward. Cloud of dust, but he does get 4 yards. 1, 2, nope. They're going to end up shorting him another yard from there. So it's going to be a 3-yard gain on that. Ball is spotted at the 31-yard line. 2nd down and 7 for El Toro. Yeah. Just punch him in the gut. Run it up that middle. That offensive line is big, mostly seniors. 3-man front. No blitz appearing for. Coming towards the top of the screen. It's going to be a quick pass intended for number 7 for El Toro. It does go over his head. Number 7 is Caius Dane. So just a little bit off the mark. Brings up a 3rd and 7 for El Toro. El Toro comes back out. 1 at the top, 3 at the bottom. Micaiah Chi still in the backfield. No pressure showing from Irvine. No pressure really coming. They're just reading. Ball is going to be a big ball thrown to Bryce Thacker. Just out of reach for Bryce. Maybe about half a step too much. So it looks like we're just trying to see what they have underneath. Both 2 receivers on the top and the bottom of the screen stayed close to the line of scrimmage, maybe 1 or 2 yards up, while everybody else was attacking downfield, giving Wyatt some options. He ends up going for the long ball and just a little bit out of reach. That's 2 passes now that were just a bit outside or just a bit too high. Once that zeroes in, once he zeroes in his sights, there's going to be some big play potential happening. D'Amato's back to punt. Good snap. Ball is up. The Gunners are moving. It does take a favorable El Toro bounce. It's going to go out of bounds somewhere near the 28-yard line for the Vaqueros. That was number 18 for Irvine back to return the ball. That was Enzo Cahoon. They're going to end up spotting it at the 29-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Vaqueros. El Toro ate about 1 minute of clock on that. So it is now 4 minutes and 16 seconds left on the clock. I believe you actually have it up on your screen along with the score. If anybody at home can text me to let me know if that's actually happening, I would appreciate that. Motion man comes down to the bottom of the screen, ends up getting put on his behind. That was number 0. Quarterback has nowhere to run and finally gets brought down by the 3-down lineman for El Toro. I'd love to tell you who the first man there was, but his jersey's wrapped up. Oh, it's 59. That was 59 on the tackle for El Toro. That is Park. on the sack. That is going to bring up a second and really, really long. That is Braden Park. Normally wears 73. Braden Park is normally in 73, but today he will be number 59. Okay, let's see what they bring up on second and really long. The cornerbacks are playing a little bit back. Motion man covers from top of the bottom. It's going to be a gift to number 32.
Rush up the middle. There's nothing there.
Nowhere for him to go. There was a little bit of extra action towards the top. It looks like their receiver is a little upset trying to take down our cornerback, Achilles. Achilles says, nope, I'm the one serving up pancakes today. Ends up putting him on his back. Watch that towards the top of your screen. That's Cole Riedel versus Achilles Segura. A little interesting. Okay. This time, Irvine's going to bring down 3 receivers at the bottom of the screen, 1 at the top. It was almost 4, but the young man just remembered where he was supposed to be. 3 linemen for El Toro. Doesn't appear like we're bringing any additional pressure. It's going to be 3rd down. Ball is snapped. Quarterback is going to be back to pass. We do have a flag on the play. So what's going to happen, I believe they're going to call it's a false start is what it's going to appear like. So Irvine brought out a receiver from your sideline. Technically, when you come out after you break the huddle, your receiver has to go inside the hashes so that he is seen and then comes back out. That prevents a team from just sneaking a player in right off of the edge, putting him right at the side where nobody sees and then going for a big pass. So it's a rule to keep things equal with the defense. That's why they were brought down back 5 yards, bringing up 3rd and really, really long. I don't want to do the math in my head. 3 receivers at the bottom. El Toro's playing back. The pass is intended for number 22, but we're going to have a pass interference call. That was Henry Stevenson on the coverage. Now, folks, don't think it's an automatic first down because it is not an automatic first down in high school. We're going to replay 3rd down. They're going to get 15 yards. The ball will be spotted there, and it'll be 3rd and whatever number of yards from that spot. El Toro's changing out the defensive linemen, bringing in some fresh legs. They're going to be put back at about the original line of scrimmage, maybe up 1. So it's going to be 3rd and what looks to be 8 yards. The line to gain is the 39-yard line from where they're at. So it's going to be a 3rd and 8 for the Vaqueros. A little more favorable to them, a little less forgiving for El Toro, but still not the end of the world. Irvine's going to go with 3 receivers at the bottom, 2 at the top, emptying everybody out. They're probably going to send everybody long and see what they can find open. Keep your eyes on that quarterback. Hopefully there's a spy on him. Everyone's going to be going and moving. The pass is going to be intended for number 22 up the middle. Nothing there for him. He was between 3 El Toro players. So Smith Spivey was the intended receiver. It does fall incomplete. It looks like the punting team is making its way out. Number 19 is the kicker for Irvine. I haven't called his name out. That's Gavin Furr. So we have Furr to Arroyo. If you're playing Scrabble, that's probably 39 points with those 2 names. Snap is good. Ball is up. This time a little bit higher and farther than the last one. It will fall short of the 40-yard line. Take a positive El Toro bounce. It's going to end up going out of bounds at the 43-yard line with 2 minutes and 1 second left on the clock in the half. El Toro still has all of its timeouts, so the entire field's available to them. Irvine also has all their timeouts as well. Here we go. Here's where I'd like to see this offensive line take over some more. Obviously, on the pass protection, they're doing amazing. Plenty of time for Wyatt Nucci. Let's see if we can run through them a little bit. The give is to Micaiah Chi, who's training out that edge. Finds a crease, and this will be a big run for him. He's going to break that one open for about 25, 30 yards. Gets brought down just shy of the 30-yard line where the clock will stop to move the chains. El Toro is hurrying. The ball is going to be spotted on the 30. 2-yard line. 1st and 10 for El Toro. Clock is now winding again. 1:52 left on it. They're not going to use a timeout. Just a quick run. Malachi Men is on the field, so a bit more of a heavy look for El Toro. Snap is good. The give is to... Oh, that's going to be...
That's Arroyo.
That's Arroyo on the outside. Gets brought down out of bounds after gaining what looks to be about 7 yards. Just shy of the 25-yard line. Yep, that'll be a 7-yard gain for Matthew on what I think is his 3rd reception. For those of you trying to keep score at home, Matthew Arroyo has had a heck of a season. He's the number 2 receiver as far as yards are concerned. Irvine subs some players out. Nucci's back to pass. Puts the ball up.
Ooh.
Intended for Matthew Arroyo or Andrew Bozich. I couldn't tell.
Nearly intercepted.
Yep, does fall incomplete. Matthew Arroyo came into this game with 417 yards on 33 receptions, averaging 59 yards a game. Okay, that does stop the clock. It is 1:31 left, 3rd down and what looks to be about 4. Snap is up. Nucci ends up keeping it, gets his first down and then some. Oh, but he fumbles. Does he recover it? I can't tell.
Looks like Irvine got the ball.
Oh, Irvine does get the ball. Wyatt Nucci had a great run. The ball just got a little bit away from his body, which then allowed Irvine to pop it out and recover the ball. We do have a Charger down on the field near the recovery point. Can't see a number. Oh, what a tough break. What a tough break. You fight for those extra yards. You do everything you can to get a little bit extra out of it. And disaster hits right before you get the opportunity. It's 1:23 left on the clock.
Yeah, but you look at the bright side of that drive right there, and it looked like they kind of figured some stuff out with the running game. You're seeing a lot more movement by the offensive line. They're getting to that second level and getting onto their blocks with those linebackers and opening up those holes.
Yep. That's absolutely right. Their offense is starting to click where it needs to be. It looks like that's number 56 that ended up looks like his shoulder potentially.
It's Nate Nelly, the senior.
Yep. So Nate Nelly's going to shake that out, get some time to get whatever it is worked on if necessary, and then work his way back out there. He is the starting tackle for El Toro. Fast kid if he's able to get down there to help recover the ball or at least fight for the ball. El Toro's defense makes its way out onto the field. Irvine's backed up. They are what looks to be the 2-yard line. Opportunities here. I mean, we've had a couple big sacks so far. They're going to need to be throwing the ball, I would assume. No, they do have their 3 timeouts. Maybe they'll run it up the middle, get some breathing room.
See if we can get a safety here. I mean, they are only on the 2-yard line.
Quarterback is under center. Number 32 is in the backfield. They're trying to get us off sides. They're going to go with their version of a tush push. They do fight their way forward. That is going to be a gain of about 4 or 5. That was just an old-fashioned wedge. They do gain what looks to be 5 yards. The ball is spotted at the 7-yard line now. Gives them breathing room. Takes away the threat of the safety. 2nd down. The clock is still going. Irvine looks content with just letting this clock die. I wouldn't be surprised if this is going to be a nice big pass to see if they get a big chunk. And if they get the big chunk, maybe then start using timeouts. But it looks like they're just going to be okay going into halftime with down by 1. Set up in a power formation. It's going to be a power run to the right. Runs into a brick wall painted royal blue. And there's going to be a timeout called by El Toro. El Toro stops the clock on 3rd down with 37 seconds left on the clock. Probably looking at this thinking, hey, one more stop, one more timeout. We're going to make them punt. With the kind of kicker El Toro has, maybe even with just a decent return, decent little punt return, they could probably kick a ball from about 40 yards away. I'll take this time out to mention for anybody that prior to the season starting purchased any Lamppost pizza cards, which had the coupons, had the savings, had the free pizza. If you have any of those cards, Lamppost Pizza is now open. So for those of you that were worried about, hey, I have a card, they're not open yet, they're open now.
And it is fantastic over there. I have to say, I was there before tonight's game, snuck in there, grabbed me a little pizza, a little food, a little drink before we headed over here. But man, it is awesome. A great place to watch the game. You know, if you're a baseball or football fan, it's a lot of fun. It's really nice over there.
Toro lines up in a power formation. 2 tight ends are going to give the ball again to the outside. This time their running back will get the first down. That'll stop the clock briefly while they get set up. That'll be a 1st and 10 with 31 seconds left. They're going to keep winding the clock. I don't think Irvine's going to stop it. They're not going to call a timeout. We're not going to call a timeout because there's no reason to anymore. The clock is going to keep winding. Nobody's moving. Referees seem to be walking away. They're just going to let this clock go. So we are going to go into halftime, folks. The score is going to be El Toro 7, Irvine 6. It does not seem that Irvine might have a place kicker because they're not trying to kick any extra points. They're not trying to kick any of these extra field goals. I think their kicker right now is a junior, Dylan Nguyen, who doesn't have very many stats as far as points scored, which tells me that they're not using him very often. Officially, that'll put us into halftime, folks, on this senior night. What we saw was two fighters just kind of seeing where everybody's at, what's available to them. El Toro seems to now be able to throw stronger punches, get bigger chunks of yards, do quite a bit more. So let's see if they're able to keep that going as the second half starts. Irvine's still trying to find themselves on offense. They've gotten a few plays. I don't want to call lucky plays because they were well-organized plays, well-executed plays, but they were able to get chunks at a time on occasion, but not with any kind of sense of meaning and they're not contiguous. So we'll see what ends up coming out of halftime here. This will be an extended halftime. It'll be a 20-minute halftime to allow for a senior night presentation for the marching band, the Royal Blue Regiment, who has their backdrops now. Look at this. So for your listening pleasure, I will open the front windows because I want you guys to have an opportunity to hear them. They are a fantastic marching band. They've grown quite a bit through some feeder programs over at Serrano Intermediate. They've gotten to a size which is really kind of impressive, moved them up a few divisions, and their sound is big. So I'm hope you're able to hear something from them, folks, while we take this halftime off. But it's an exciting first half, 7-6. Like we said coming into this, it's going to be a dogfight. This isn't going to be a blowout. This isn't going to be a known result. It's going to be kind of up in the air. And if you ask the OC Register, depending on which day, one day it's us, the next day it's Irvine. So nobody can make up their mind on this so far. And they're waiting for the last players to walk off the field. Last players have walked off the field. The halftime clock is now starting. 20 minutes starts now, folks. Enjoy your halftime show. We will be coming back to you with a couple minutes left in the game. Couple minutes left in halftime to start the second half of the game.
is an award-winning marching band since the early 500 at local contest. They are consistently top 5 finalists at the CSBC Championship, making them one of the top marching bands in Southern California. At this time, we have been tribute to the field as drum majors Annalise Hoffman and Derek Olson and the Royal Blue Ribbon present the first two selections of the 2025 production Hope Rises. Irvine 3 player, accompanied by Irvine and Benton. Ladies and gentlemen, the Toro represents a one-fight self-tradition of excellence. Tonight we are proud to the senior members of this outstanding program. Please join us this evening recognizing the Royal Graduates Class of 2026 family families as we celebrate their contribution and dedication during tonight's senior night recognition. Now we come to introduce our seniors. First up, Peters, and assistant Data. We have been a member of the board for 2 years. And intersection in our program. And I have to continue playing while setting the conditions for the academic condition.
Okay, folks, we are back. We're in the 3-minute additional halftime warm-up time. I hope you enjoyed the halftime show presented by the Royal Blue Regiment. Their ballad, which is the second piece they performed, was A Sound of Silence, and we were joking out there saying, well, because the mic was popping in and out, I'm like, well, Sound of Silence, I guess you're going to silence a soloist. How ironic. El Toro comes back out. They handled their warm-ups. They looked focused out there. They looked ready for what this new half has to unfold for them. Looking prepared. Just to let you all know, the Dodger game ended. It is a final score. Dodgers 5. The other team 1. That means if you're a Dodger fan, which I know we all are, at least we are right now, the Dodgers will be going to the World Series to beat up on whatever team wins between Seattle and who? Whoever else.
Toronto.
Okay, El Toro will be kicking off because they did receive the opening kickoff to Irvine. El Toro will be moving left to right. The Vaqueros right to left. Here we go. D'Amato's back to kick. Let's see. Big booming kick. That will be in the end zone for sure. About almost to the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Irvine will be coming out with the ball on the 20-yard line. Great kick by D'Amato. That ball was booming. There was no question. But as soon as he left his toe, I was like, nope, that's going in the end zone. It's done. That is decided.
I'm curious to see what Irvine does here in the second half. If they make any adjustments, they make any changes to their game plan, or if they continue with what they had going in the first half. They didn't really have anything working for them all too much.
Nope.
You seeing some new formations here?
Diamond at the bottom of the screen, motion man towards the top, trying to catch us a little bit confused. It's going to be a bubble screen towards the back. They're trying to get the ball to their playmakers' hands as much as they can. We do have a flag on this play. He does get a gain of what looks to be 8 prior to the flag. Let's see what the call is going to be. If I had to guess, I'm going to guess a holding against the Vaqueros. The white hat makes his way towards the bottom of your screen to talk to his line judge. The line judge stands on the home side. Typically, the head linesman stands with the chains. Umpire comes in to play a hand. It's going to be a personal foul. Face mask. That's going to go. Face mask against the Vaqueros. So they're going to go ahead and take the end of the run, bring them back 15 yards. Correction, 10 yards. It is still going to be first down. Nope, it's going to be 15. I was confused too. I'm like, wait a minute. If it's a personal foul face mask, that's going to be 15. So the umpire just had to be slightly corrected. Normally he would look over to the side. You talk to your line judge. You hold up 1, 2, or 3 fingers, and that tells you whether it's 5, 10, or 15 yards. But they missed that part. It's okay. Vaqueros come out with what appears to be a heavy formation. They have a fullback up. The give is going to be to the weak side, but he gets met by Stevenson very quickly. He's end up gaining maybe 3 or 4 yards on that carry. That's going to bring up a second down and what appears to be 12 to me from my current vantage point. See, they're trying to figure out what works for their offense. They're figuring out their passes aren't quite hitting where they need to be hitting. Their quick run game's not working, so they're coming out with a bit of a heavy look, just trying to see how we react to it. It appeared that El Toro knew what was happening because their defense quickly adjusted. So it must have been something they've seen on film before. Here we go. They're going back to more what appears to be their traditional look with the 2 receivers at the top and 1 at the bottom with a tight end. Typically when they do this, it'll be a run play towards the tight end side. But it's going to be the play action. Quarterback's going to keep. He's going to try to throw it out. It is a completed pass. It'll bring up third down. He does fall short of the line to gain. The defense is a little discombobulated discussing that play. So that was a rollout, a naked rollout. He had nobody out there blocking for him. It's going to bring up a third down and what looks to be a very short one. The line to gain, folks, is a 30-yard line. So if they're able to keep them away from that for this one, we might see a punt or they might go for it. I guess with those being your only 2 options, that's really what's going to happen, right?
That was a really close call, too. It looked like that ball could have possibly hit the ground, but they called it a completed pass.
Power I formation. They're going to end up keeping it with the quarterback. They did this earlier in the game. They ended up gaining enough to get the first down. They're going to be spotted at the 31-yard line. So just enough to get what they needed. El Toro switches out the defensive line again, getting the fresh legs in. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 31. Yeah. Here we go. Clock is winding. We're at about a minute or 9 minutes and 50 seconds into the third quarter. Left in the third quarter. Irvine's going to keep the 2-back set. Fullback. El Toro's going to adjust, bringing up 6 people to the line of scrimmage. Everyone handles a gap. It's going to be an attempted throw. The intended receiver is number 22. The ball is up in the air, and it is caught. He had space and he had sideline, so Noah Cisneros was one covering him. He gave him just a little bit too much room, lost track of him, and as fast as he can be, he couldn't keep pace with him. Allows the catch. They end up flipping the field now, so they're at the 33-yard line for El Toro. A big gain. About 35 yards on that reception. That was 22 Smith-Spivey on the reception. Not their biggest receiving threat, but so far this game he has been for Irvine. The big plays have gone towards his direction. Everybody else has been shut down. Keeping the same 2-back set. This time more of an I formation. It's going to be a give to number 32. He does get met at the line of scrimmage without being able to gain much out of it. That was Stevenson in on the tackle. Irvine's choosing to pick on Noah Cisneros a little bit. Their receiver had a little bit of extra to give him during that play. The back judge saw it all and decided, I'm going to let this go. 2nd down and 10. There was no gain on that play. Irvine breaks their huddle. They have their tight end towards the bottom of the screen. Single receivers top and bottom. Playing one-on-one. Snap is good. It's going to be an intended pass. Yep, it's going to be the quick pass to the far side. That reception was number 9 for Irvine. James Enderton. First time I've called that one. Senior. Jason Stewart. Braden Stewicki was on the coverage, but he was playing a good 10, 15 yards off. So that quick slant in was going to be open all day for them. They are calling that a first down. The chains are a little slow to move, but now they're moving. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Irvine. It looks like it was maybe a close call, but typically you will not see a measurement in high school football. Clock is wound. This time in a shotgun formation with the 2 backs. 32's on the carry, gets met at the line of scrimmage. Nowhere to go. All of his 5'6" frame runs directly into the big nose guard for El Toro.
It's big Henry Tingy right there on that play.
Henry Tingy, the center for the offensive line, gives him a bear hug and helps him back to the huddle. Normally you would see Henry Tingy handling center duties for the offense and long snapping for El Toro. He is a senior for the team. We now have 2nd down and 10. Little personnel change. They're going to come back to that diamond formation towards the bottom of the screen. This time El Toro moves a couple players further out. It's going to be everybody dive. Henry Stevenson was not fooled by that play. Nobody blocked him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 El Toro Chargers ended up coming in and swarming on the tackle, but it was initiated by Stevenson. He said, not today. The offensive line all decided to lay down, try to chop block all of the Chargers. That's an 8-yard loss. Yeah, it looks to be an 8-yard loss. Ball is spotted just over the 30-yard line. 3rd down and long. Still a dangerous position for the Vaqueros. They have shown they are able to cut this down and even get a first down from lengths this far away. They're going to have 3 wide receivers towards the top of the screen, 1 at the bottom, no tight end. Quarterback takes the snap. It's good. Everybody's going out. Again, they're going for that screen pass. Try to dump it out big, really just throwing the ball away. The only receiver even close to it was number 0. They're going to call illegal man downfield because that time the pass went further than the line of scrimmage and all the linemen were down there. So they are going to lose yards if we decide to move them back, but if not, that'll give them 4th down in what looks to be 18. Little bit of discussion, probably letting Lofthouse know whether or not it's a loss of down or not. It looks like El Toro is going to be denying it. It's going to bring up 4th down and 18 for the Vaqueros. They're not bringing out their punt team. They're not bringing out their field goal team. They're keeping their offense out on the field. The skill players are all at the top of your screen in the huddle. So they all get the play directly from the from the coach, and then they run out and give the play to the lineman. The clock is stopped with 6 minutes and 18 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Irvine is eating up a bunch of clock here. Let's see what they do with this 4th down opportunity. El Toro seems to be playing off on the corners, allowing whatever they need to in front of them. The snap. Oh, it's a quick hit. It was a quick kick. The ball is going to roll. Does it touch the line? I don't think this back judge likes us, so it will not have passed the line. If you ask me, it did touch the line, but I'm at a bad angle, sure. That should be a touchback if any part of the ball passes the end zone, but they're going to pin us back tight. It will be 1st down and 10 from the half-yard line. Yeah, they ended up bringing it forward. They're going to spot it on the 1-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 on the 1. The line to gain will be the 11-yard line. Where El Toro takes over, top of your screen is going to be Bryce Thacker and Matthew Arroyo. Bottom of the screen is Tatau. We do have Malachi Mena and Micaiah Chi in the backfield. This could be a gift to Micaiah Chi. Fights his way forward, ends up giving us some breathing room. I'm going to say probably 3 or 4 yards. It depends where he was in that mass of bodies. More of a rugby scrum than anything else. Okay, it's going to be a gain of 2. 2nd and 8. Ball is spotted at what looks to be the 3-yard line. Yeah, priority number 1 when you're backed off this far is just to get breathing room. Priority 2 is just get a first down. And then you can start worrying about flipping this field back the other way. Same formation. It is not a give to Chi. It is a pass to Tao Tao at the bottom of your screen. Does catch it. That is going to be enough for a first down. They're going to stop the clock and move the chains. That was a nice quick pass. It was just nothing but timing. Tao Tao moves his way forward, cuts across that field. Enough breathing room to needle that ball directly in there. And El Toro's out of their own end zone. They're still in the shadows of the uprights. Ball is what appears to be the 13-yard line. Snap is good. The give is to Micaiah Chi.
He's got
Finds a big hole. Fights his way forward. He should have enough for a first down right here. Keeps fighting. Keeps dragging some vaqueros with him. That's another first down for El Toro. That's who we are, folks. If you want to encapsulate who El Toro is, take the last couple plays, and that'll give you an idea who we are as an identity. We can power the ball through you. We can pass the ball quickly. Weapons left and right. Malachi Mena comes off the field. That means Bozic will be working his way back onto the field. Micaiah Chi has a gain of what it looked like maybe 14, 15 yards. First and 10 with the ball on the 29-yard line. 3 receivers at the bottom of your screen. Tao Tao, Bozic, and Arroyo. Bryce Thacker at the top. Snap is good. The give is to nobody. He's
got the
keeping it.
Tao wide open.
Let's see if he has good. And he catches it on the 30-yard line and gets brought down from behind. The ball's going to be spotted somewhere near the 24-yard line. Wide open, blown coverage. If you've ever seen one before in your life, that's what it was. This is where you have the corner pointing at the safety and says, I thought you had him. He points back, I thought you had him. Neither of us had him.
He was all alone. If that throw was let go just a hair earlier, catches him in stride, he is gone. There was nobody even close to him.
Yep. So they take the ball from the 29-yard line on your left. They replaced it on the 24-yard line on your right. Big game by Tao Tao. This field has now been flipped. And, folks, this is how we left the first half before that fumble, right? This is where El Toro was. They're figuring out their offense and how it fits within this no-pressure, heavy defensive back offense by Irvine. It's another fake give to Micaiah Chi. Wyatt's going to keep it. He's going to run it. He's got some blockers. He's got plenty of space. Works his way out. This could be a touchdown, folks. Let's see the call. And they're going to call him short by about a yard. He did hit the pylon, but I think maybe they said part of his hand went out first. He had plenty of blockers. He had Henry Tingy out there lead blocking for him. He had Micaiah out there blocking for him. He had Bryce out there blocking for him. He had plenty of room, folks, but now we're back on the other 1 yard line. So far, 98-yard drive in about 2.5 minutes. What do we say? Micaiah Chi up the middle, just punch it in. Yep, Micaiah Chi, there's the punch in. There's your touchdown. Put your arms up, folks. Put your arms up, officials. There it is. Touchdown. El Toro. Crowd's going nuts. Fire extinguishers everywhere. Cheerleaders off their boxes. That's El Toro drive. That's how you win this game against Irvine. That was El Toro asserting their dominance on that drive. This is who we are. You're not taking it away from us. Score now is 13-6. Tingy's out there as a long snapper, number 3. It's going to be Wyatt Nucci is the holder. Snap is good. Ball is down. Kick is up. That is through the uprights. Make that 14-6, El Toro. 14-6 now. 3 minutes, 38 seconds left in the first half. Oh, that was so exciting. Now that's exciting. That's exciting football. Big pass plays, some blown coverages that we took advantage of. A play that maybe looked like it might not go anywhere, but the lineman said, hey, we're going to keep blocking, keep following. Wyatt Nucci takes it all the way up to the 1. And in typical El Toro fashion, you give Micaiah Chi the ball that close to the end zone, he's going to find his way into it. There's no stopping or denying that man a yard or two, period.
That's a heck of a way to come out and make your mark. 99 yards on that drive to take it all the way in for a touchdown. They made it look fairly easy.
They did. They showed what they wanted to do, and then they did it. Now the defense has to come out and do the exact same thing. D'Amato's back to kick. Let's see how much he has in that leg. Good kick. Might be a little short. Nope, it's in the end zone. That ball will come out again to the 20-yard line. I don't know why I doubt him. I should just say it's going into the end zone before he even touches it, and I'll probably be right. And then ESPN can write about me. Hey, the new Tony Romo of high school football. But here we go, folks. There's some electricity in the atmosphere. If you can, folks, if we get a playoff spot, if we're fortunate enough to make that happen for us, if we're fortunate enough to get one at home, you need to come out here because there's electricity in the stands again right now. There's excitement happening for our boys out there. El Toro is set up, 3-man front. Irvine's coming out with 4 receivers now, top and bottom of the screen. No tight end. Running back is still there. 4-man front this time. It's going to be a quick pass out. Incomplete. Yep. Look close. That was intended for number 0, Fogarty. It's off of his fingertips and goes down, but we do have a player maybe. Nope, he's coming back up. Okay, we thought we might have had an injured player, but maybe just a little feeling something. Maybe a little bit of a cramp. It'll bring up 2nd and 10 from the 20-yard line. It makes the 30-yard line the line to gain on this play.
Yeah, 51 for Irvine. He's still over there hobbling around, but he does not want to leave this game.
No. Yeah, he's a right guard. 5-man front appearing. So linebackers are up. We're going to blitz up the middle. That's where they decide to run it, but he has nowhere to go. Maybe. They're going to say he made it back to the line of scrimmage. I don't know if I agree. Nope, they're going to put him back on the line of scrimmage. We're going to have a 3rd down now and 10.
Excellent read by El Toro's defensive line.
Yep.
Linebackers filled in the holes. Nowhere for Irvine's running back to go.
No. So the defense is starting to click and figure them out a little bit more. That was probably Braden Park right there in the middle, stuffing it. But you did have Christensen coming in. El Toro's lining up with a 4-man front this time, but the linebackers are walking up. They end up bringing 5. Quarterback finds a way to roll out, tried to find some space, ends up breaking the coverage. There was a lapse in the containment. El Toro's outside linebacker just got a little excited for the hit. Ends up blowing by the quarterback with a little bit of wiggle. He does gain what looks to be 12 yards, maybe 13. That does move the chains for Irvine. That ball is spotted now at the 33-yard line. Talking before the game with folks, I said it's the quarterback. It's the containment. We've done a great job so far. El Toro's done a great job so far of containing him, but he's going to get out, and that's okay. 3 receivers at the bottom of the screen, 1 at the top. No tight ends. 4-man front again, so they've changed their defense ever so slightly. Everybody's getting in. Quarterback throws the ball up in the air, falls incomplete.
Good defense right there by El Toro.
It is good defense by El Toro. That was Noah Cisneros that was on the front of it. On the back was Stewicki, number 5. Little shaken up on the play. Cisneros said, I remember the last play. You're not going to get this one on me. Bats that ball away or just gets in the way just enough to close it out, causing it to fall incomplete. 2nd down and 10 for Irvine. Let's see what gets dialed up. So it looks like El Toro has changed up their offensive or defensive front a little bit. Typically, they run a 3-man front. Linebackers do come up quite a bit, given a 5-man look. But it looks like we're coming now, or El Toro's coming out now with 4 defensive linemen. Back to the traditional 3 with the outside linebacker. Quattro Schindel is playing a little off, but we ended up having a timeout by Irvine. A little bit of confusion maybe. Coach looked frustrated when he called the timeout. It was one of those where he called the timeout and then he just threw his arms up to the side and nodded his head like, folks. So he's going to have to talk to his players a little bit and see what the heck is going on with them. El Toro gets an opportunity to get some water in their players. That timeout is called with 2:14 left in the 3rd quarter. Let's see what we have Officials are also getting their water in because they got to stay hydrated. I was going to mention also during that big run by Micaiah Chi, one of the officials almost got taken out. And for the last 2 games at Toro games, they've actually hit a referee. So it's kind of becoming a thing. Luckily, no officials were hurt in the previously 2 games seriously. And nobody was hurt during that run. Here we go. Irvine seems to be lining up with their tight end back in the game. Yep, tight ends towards the top of your screen. Snap is a quick snap. Give to number 32, but the referee stopped the play. It's going to be a false start. So Irvine's trying to go quick. They're realizing our defensive line's getting surge and push. So they're going to start playing with the cadence a little bit. You start going a little bit faster. Maybe you go on sound. You go on set. And that way, the defensive linemen who start getting used to a rhythm might slow down just a little bit or just be a half a beat behind. But with that risk comes, on the occasion, a false start because not everybody was set. I think maybe the pressure is starting to feel like it's real. Where, hey, we got to start doing something. We have 2 minutes left in this third quarter. We have to make up 2 touchdowns in essence because they're not kicking extra points. No, I guess they can do a 2-point conversion and tie the game. But there's a little bit of pressure on there, so maybe they're just starting to feel that. 1 tight end at the top of your screen, 2 receivers at the bottom. El Toro's showing pressure, and they come with the pressure. Quattro Shindels comes open. Ball has to be thrown quickly. Well underthrown of the receiver. He's looking around. The intended receiver was number 32, the running back. He's probably asking maybe, why was my pass interference? That ball was so underthrown, it was uncatchable. So there wouldn't be anything called on that play. Quattro Shindel almost got a free hit on the quarterback.
Yeah, I thought he had him dead to rights right there. The quarterback got that ball out really quickly. I thought for sure that was going to be a sack on that play.
Yep, if you talk to his parents, they'll say, because he's slow. He's not that slow, folks. He's got some speed on him.
He's got that game speed.
Yeah, game speed. I like that. Okay, 3 down linemen again. Quattro Shindel is going to be holding back. This is a 3rd and long. Tight bunch formation towards the bottom. When they run this, it's typically going to be like a sweep out. But nope, everybody's going to go out for a pass. Nobody's looking like they're open. We're going to have a flag.
Again.
Doesn't matter. They're going to deny the hold because he's going to end up being tackled for a loss, maybe about 2 or 3 yards. I would assume it's a hold. So, folks, pancakes are one of my favorite breakfast items, but they're also one of my favorite things from offensive linemen. That time, they were able to knock down one of the El Toro defensive linemen. Once you do that, if there's separation, you really can't jump on the dude after that because you're going to either get a personal foul or a hold. Because once you jump on there, it's not like, oh, I accidentally fell on him. No, I made the conscious decision to fall on him. El Toro's going to reject the penalty, not make them move 10 yards back. It'll bring up 4th down and long. Matthew Arroyo's back to return a punt, and El Toro or the Vaqueros bring out their punting team. Here we go. This time it's a declared punt, not their little pooch kick punt like they did last time. They're set. The snap is good. Slow, but good. Kick is up. Matthew Arroyo is going to call for a fair catch, but let the ball fall. He ends up returning the ball because it hit the ground. He tried to return the ball. But the back judge is going to say, nope, you called a fair catch. Therefore, you cannot advance this ball. Matthew's pleading his case, saying, hey, the ball touched the ground. I should be able to return the ball. They're clarifying that for him. Like, nope, once you declare it, that's where it's at. Now, if they deem it something like, hey, you're not supposed to be able to do that return. Then now they're talking to their back judge, probably clarifying for him, saying, hey, don't blow your whistle next time. So normally this is where I would try to do something called a boogle. That's what my friends call it. It's when Brian and Google collide and I make up facts. I'm not sure what the correct call should be there. If anybody knows or wants to Google it and send it to me by text, I'll be happy to know if you're able to advance a fair catch punt if it hits the ground prior to reaching the return man. Snap is good. The give is a fake to Micaiah Chi. It ends up being thrown out to Tatau. Ball does fall incomplete. We do have a flag on the play. I think we're going to have a roughing the passer. So that was number 12, the outside linebacker for Irvine. Number 12 is Mason Pruce, defensive end. So the White Hat's going to say that he took too many steps before he hit Wyatt Nucci. Now, in high school football, there are 2 penalties that do give an automatic first down. The way to remember them is they have the word roughing in them. Roughing the passer, roughing the kicker will always give you an automatic first down. Those are the only ones that give you an automatic first down in high school football.
So you think it was extra steps? It looked like it was maybe a little high. He hit him up towards the head and neck area.
Yeah. Could have called it for that, but typically you would see like a targeting. I don't know. The give was to Micaiah Chi, who tries to run it up the middle. Does gain 1 yard on that play. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 9 for El Toro. I think maybe that call was more just to give Wyatt an opportunity to catch his breath a little bit, because that was a very hard hit. Ball is at the 48-yard line for the Vaqueros. A little over a minute left to go in this third quarter. Snap is good. The give is to Micaiah Chi, who takes the ball, finds a big crease again up that middle. Micaiah makes the first guy miss, but gets brought down by number 3 after a gain of what looks to be about 25 yards. Gets brought down just shy of the 20-yard line, just out of that red zone. That will move the chains. It'll be 1st and 10 for El Toro on the 22-yard line. They're going to wind the clock from there, and El Toro just keeps humming away. So the offensive line was able to smash everybody in. It was supposed to be a off-tackle run to the right. Micaiah found that opening and then cut back left where there was a crease on the defense, was able to get in there. Pressure looks to be shown by the Vaqueros. Pressure does come off the edge. But Micaiah Chi still finds a way to fight his way forward. Gets himself what looks to be 7 yards. Finally gets brought down at the 16-yard line. This will be 2nd and 4 for El Toro. This is an opportunity now to put what might seem like an insurmountable jump. Micaiah Chi is going to be coming off the field as we go into the fourth quarter. So this will end the third quarter. Your current score, for those of you that can't see the bottom of your screen, is 14-6 El Toro. El Toro will now be going from right to left on your screen. The Vaqueros left to right. This game has me feeling like Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story when he goes into Spanish mode. And he's like, El Vaquero.
Feel free to call some plays in Spanish if you'd like, Brian.
Hey, my friends would make fun of me relentlessly. Spanish was my first language, but I'm so out of practice living in South Orange County, I don't get to use it too often. So it takes me a minute to get it back. All right, so now we're going to be going with the last 12 minutes of the game. Ball is at the 16-yard line. 2nd down and what I would say is 4 yards to make the first down. El Toro's been just powering the ball this drive. They have thrown the ball a few times, but this has mostly been a power run offense. Okay, referees are getting themselves set. El Toro is set. 2 receivers top and bottom, with McCade Romo now in the backfield, who goes in motion. Pass up the middle intended for Bozic, number 18. It does get broken up by number 18 for Irvine. So that was Andrew Bozic who attempted to catch the ball, but Cahoon broke it up. Little 18-on-18 crime happening.
Wyatt tried to fit that pass in the small little window
Yep.
there, just a little bit behind Bosic on that.
Yeah, it's not very big. That was available earlier. So now, we have a new player on the field playing the wing back. Trying to see that number. It's going to be a screen pass to the right to Matthew Arroyo, who makes 2 guys miss. Finally gets brought down by the 3rd guy. That's Matthew Arroyo, who makes a couple guys miss, finds his way up. He's going to get brought down at what looks to be the 4-yard line, but we have an injured player. We have an injured player for El Toro. Oh, cramp. Thank goodness. That's Henry Tingy, the center, who's down with the cramp. My heart immediately started moving very quickly. Henry Tingy is the starting long snapper as well.
Why would that make your heart skip a beat there, Brian?
Well, we have a break in the play, and I get this opportunity because I'm up here. If you look at the bottom of your screen, you might catch a number 77. Number 77 is the backup long snapper for today's game, whose name happens to be Brandon Mariscal and my son. So he was, as a freshman, he was brought up because they were in need of a backup long snapper for today's game. So when I see the long snapper go down, it makes me think, holy cannoli, he might get into this game. Love my kid. Hopefully he gets in there. But I don't want it to be on an injury, and this close of a game, it's a little scary, right? Love you, Brandon. Okay. But it looks to just be cramps. Tyler's out there stretching him out. That happens. This is not a hot day, but it has been a run-heavy game. So those linemen are working those muscles.
Well, not to worry, Brian. It looks like they're going to be putting in Hudson George, number 64. They're going to put him in there to replace Tingy for at least a couple of plays.
Yep. So Henry George taking over at center. Tingy's working his way off the field. But I think once he gets some pickle juice, maybe some mustard, he'll work that out and work his way back out onto the field. Here we go. Ball is on the 4-yard line. El Toro lines up. New center. If I'm the defense, I'm going after him. Snap is good. The give is to Matthew Arroyo, who gets met in the backfield instantly by number 12, the defensive end. Whatever the offensive line was doing, they were missing that communication, and that edge rusher came in completely unblocked. That's what you use your center quite a bit for. So your center is your primary quarterback for the offensive line. He typically sets the protection and who shifts to what spot. This will be 2nd and goal now for the Chargers. Andrew Bozic is coming back out onto the field. We're going to have 3 receivers at the bottom of the screen. 1 at the top. Micaiah Cheese back in the backfield. 10 minutes, 51 seconds left. Snap is good. Wyatt's back to pass. It's a pass over to, just off the fingertips of Tau. Just off of his fingertips. It would have been a beautiful catch. He had his feet dragging on the field. It would have been a great touchdown, but just out of his reach. This brings up a 3rd down now. Third down and go for El Toro. Let's see what happens here. Touchdown, of course, would be beautiful, but a field goal also puts him into a 2-possession game with 10 minutes, 42 seconds left. Irvine's now bringing a lot of pressure. The pass was up, intended for Matthew Arroyo, but goes over his head. That ball does go just over his head, bringing out what appears to be the field goal unit. Henry Tingy's working his way back out there, so he was able to work out his cramps enough to handle long snapping duties. Sorry, young Mariscal, you'll have to wait for another opportunity to go out there. El Toro was lining up with 10, but here comes a final member of the offensive line for the field goal. It'll be Tingy to Nucci with D'Amato kicking. Snap is good. Ball is down. Kick is up. And that looks like it's through the uprights. Yep, that gives them 3. That is 3 points for El Toro, bringing the score 17-6, an 11-point lead for El Toro. Makes you wonder, had Tingy not gone down, if we could have punched those in for 7, because that center, man, I've coached football for quite some time at the youth level, and I've also raised 2 centers in my time. So I know the importance of that offensive lineman center. If he's taken care of and he's got his head on straight, that offensive line can be able to handle business. And not saying George doesn't. I'm just saying that when you change the person around, it takes a minute or two to figure out who you're working with, because that's your job boss in essence.
Yeah, that center position, that's the captain of that offensive line. And
Yep.
throwing somebody in there, even though they're a backup, it takes a minute
Yep.
to get your head about you and to kind of understand what you're looking at and to settle into that. So it's a rough spot for George to get put into, but
he was able to handle it, and we still got the 3 points out of it. D'Amato's coming up for the kick. It's going to go in the end zone. Oh, look at that. I was right before he even kicked it.
not even an attempt at that
Nope.
one.
Irvine, the 2 return guys for Irvine didn't even go back to see, hey, am I close? They, off the foot, just stood there and waved their arms saying, nope, this is done. Okay, folks, 10 minutes, 33 seconds. The Vaqueros take over on the 20. 1st and 10. They come out with a tight formation. 2 wing backs towards the bottom of your screen. Bit of a new look. Looks to be a pitch out to the outside. That's number 32. Their running back, the little bowling ball at 5'6", 160 something pounds. He does run the ball forward and gets himself what looks to be 16 yards and a 1st down. Ball is spotted at the 38-yard line. So that is a gain of 18 yards on that play. It was just a quick out. He found the seam and worked his way up. El Toro was a little bit slow to react to it. The linebackers didn't come down to start filling cutback lanes quick enough, and he was able to fight his way forward. He reminds me just like a smaller version of Scataboo, where it's just like a little guy who just kind of runs with his head down and uses whatever kind of mass he has to get in there. Tight end towards the top of the formation, or top of the line. They're going to keep testing our edges. It's going to be a give to number 0. Finds a cutback lane, but gets tripped up quickly by Matthew Arroyo. From the safety position, comes and fills the hole, puts his arm out, and just trips him up. That was number 0, Fogarty, on the run. I will give Irvine this, though. Their receivers do a heck of a job blocking for them. If you look at the end of the play, just stop, especially on these sweep kind of plays, they are giving our cornerbacks fits. Some might say maybe a little bit too excessive. Some might say not, but that's what it is. Okay, wing back at the bottom of your screen. 2 wide receivers down, 1 up. It's going to be a quick pass up to the top. Bevel, he does break through. He ends up breaking 2 tackle attempts. Matthew Arroyo again has to come in and save the day with the tackle. Cuts him at the knees. I know he's not going to be happy with his linebackers, asking him, hey, guys, come on, what's going on here? Looks to be about a 25-yard gain. So Irvine's now starting to move the ball, just testing our edges. So they've figured out that they can't do anything in the middle of the field, and they've got to start attacking the outside to get something going. Ball is spotted at the 31-yard line. 9 minutes, 57 seconds left.
El Toro's outside guys, they got to break down, expect that first move, and not get beat by it. Each one of those on that outside, it's just one move by Irvine. Yep. It's a pop and go, and they're getting those extra yards.
Yeah, it looks like Irvine's coached to not expect to go to a specific landmark. They're just looking for that cutback lane. When it's available, they go. The give is to number 32 up the middle. Gains maybe 2 yards in the play. It'll be a 2nd down and 8. El Toro switching out a defensive lineman again. Yep. The defense a little bit on its heels right now. Let's see if they're able to hunker down and close up shop. They're setting up again with 3 down linemen. Achilles Segura will be the 4th towards the bottom, feigning some pressure up the middle. It's going to be a snap. It's going to be an intended pass. It completed to number 22 at the bottom of the screen against Stu Wicki. He is able to gain enough for the 1st down. Gets brought down to the 20-yard line where they have 1st and 10. It's that soft coverage we tend to do on the backside of plays. On the one-on-one side of plays, we tend to pull back the cornerback just a bit. And Irvine's just taking advantage of it. They're tired too, though. Irvine offensive linemen seem to be huffing and puffing right now, trying to catch their breath on what's going on. With 7 minutes and 25 seconds left in the game, Irvine comes out. No tight ends, 4 wide receivers, 1 running back. El Toro again with the 5 men on the line of scrimmage this time. 22 or 32 rolls his way out. Last time they did that, quarterback ran the ball, and he does again. Finds a big gap up the middle. He's going to score on that play. They did that to us last time. They put 3 receivers on one side of the field, motioned out their running back, which empties out our linebackers. Quarterback looks like he's coming forward, ends up finding his way out, and he scores. That brings our score now 17-12. And here comes that swinging gate again, folks. I really dislike this. So,
I don't know about the freshman game. Maybe you could speak to that, but I know they did this in the JV game as well.
They did not in the freshman game. They only scored 1 touchdown in the freshman game. And they ended up kicking the extra point. There is a timeout called by El Toro to figure out how we want to line ourselves up for this swing and gate type of extra point. Yeah, as we talked in the beginning of the game, quarterback has his 857 passing yards, but he does have 420 rushing yards on his 72 carries. So he's averaging quite a big chunk when he decides to run. We've been keeping him mostly contained. That genie has stayed in the bottle. But every now and then it's going to be able to pop out free. Luckily, that's not the norm. So you just ride with it, right? That's part of the waves you have to take. It is still a 5-point game, depending on the result of this extra point. El Toro has adjusted its personnel slightly for this swing-in gate. They have to make sure they understand who all the eligible receivers are. The snap is good. It's going to be a give with a double reverse. That's going to be 22 working his way back on the field. He ends up finding a corner, but nowhere else to go. He will be stopped prior to making it in. So about 40, maybe 45 yards of running for a no-good extra point. That's a lot of razzle-dazzle for not a lot of, I don't know, result. Irvine has some good soccer teams too. Irvine FC, there's a soccer league out there. So I'm wondering why they don't just find a kicker in their area. Either way, Irvine will be lining up for the kickoff from the 40-yard line. Back to receive are Devin Kostick and Tatau. El Toro's going to go ahead and switch the return men front to back, bringing up the typical return guys, because all the kicks so far from Irvine have been short kicks. And this is no exception. That is a short kick to Kostick, who will field it on the 25-yard line, ends up running towards the middle, finds a bit of a gap, and
he's got the
big one. And nobody in front of him. If he can outpace everybody, he can make it all the way in. That's a touchdown.
Touchdown, Chargers. Let's go.
Oh, good adjustment by the Chargers, bringing their return guys up, switching them at the last minute. Touchdown is good. No flags on that play. That is clearly a 75-yard return for a touchdown. Big run by that young man, Kostick, who was last week's player of the game for special teams. Keep doing that, young man. It's going to work out for you. That brings our score to 23-12, 11-point lead for the Chargers, who are huddling. We might be going for 2. We call a timeout as well. That's El Toro's second timeout of the half, leaving them with 1, 6 minutes, 53 seconds with a very exciting return by Devin Kostick. It looks like I think we're going to be going for 2. So we're going to take this 11-point lead, try to stretch it to 13. What that does is it forces them to have to make 2, or at least have to make one of the extra points after 2 touchdowns.
Looks like they went ahead and switched over. It looks like our field goal team's going to go out there. You got D'Amato out there. You got Tingy out there to long snap. So they did decide to make a change.
Yep.
Going to go for the easy points. No need to risk it.
Nope. I think the coaches got together and looked at it like, what do we really gain by going for 2? And it's really nothing. So they're going to try to extend this lead to 12. El Toro is missing one wing back. That's Quattro Schindel working his way back out onto the field as one of the protectors. Plenty of time still. Snap is good. Kick is great. And it is good. 24-12, El Toro. 6 minutes, 53 seconds. And this is the point where the body language shifts on the other team. They didn't break very quickly. Hands on the hips. Heads kind of bobbing up and down, just like, oh my goodness, what are we going to do?
Yeah, that was a demoralizing return right there.
Yep.
I mean, Irvine scores, thinks that they've made the game close again. They're right back in it. Turn right around and give up a touchdown on the kickoff. That's heartbreaking for them.
Yep. But that's the beauty of El Toro and what they've been through with their early season schedule. It's like you have to keep fighting throughout those games. When you have that chance, you got to keep going because it might break out. So we made a quick adjustment. Kostick said, I got this. There was amazing blocking for him down the field. They were laying guys out, opening up that sideline. And then Kostick turned on the Jets. D'Amato's going to do the kickoff. It will be going into the end zone. Kick is up. Yep. That kick goes into the end zone. The ball will be spotted at the 20-yard line where the Vaqueros take over. Let's see what this defense is able to do. They had some time in the tent. Coaches were able to make a couple adjustments here and there.
I'd love to see El Toro's defense get a turnover right here. That's the one thing I don't think we've seen tonight. They've played a pretty complete game all around. Good defense for the most part. Offense has been rolling. Special teams has looked great.
Yep.
I would love for the defense to get a turnover right here.
Yeah, and when you say a turnover on defense, my mind immediately goes to Matthew Arroyo, who leads the team with 4 interceptions so far this season. Would have been 5 with the pick 6, but, stuff happens. So keep an eye out for the safety, Matthew Arroyo. He's the one bobbing around in the back of that defense. Single high safety. Tight formation. They're going to probably test the edges out again, and they do, but they're going to make it a pass now. But nowhere to go. Quattro Schindel's in front of him.
It should be a flag. There it is. Late flag for intentional grounding.
Yep, so it was a quick pitch out. They wanted to pass the ball, but the defensive backs for El Toro stayed at home and took care of their assignments, moved back with their players, nowhere to go with the ball. Quattro Schindel, with his blazing fast speed, closes in, forces him to throw an incomplete pass that will be intentional grounding. They will go back from the spot of the foul, which is where the pass was thrown, and they do lose the down. So this will now be second down. They don't get to repeat it. The ball is placed what looks to be the 10-yard line. So it'll be second and 20. 21. No, they're going further back. That's where the foul happened. They're putting the ball down at the 4-yard line. So it'll be second down and 26 for the Vaqueros. 6 minutes, 46 seconds left in the game. El Toro lines up. 3 down linemen. A little bit soft coverage on the outside. It's going to be a pass attempt, but nobody's out there running routes. So the intended receiver was number 18, who was the receiver at the top of your screen. The ball was snapped. He kind of jogs forward, maybe jaunts, you could say, a couple yards, and then works his way back, then realizes, oh, my quarterback's throwing the ball to me, and then starts attempting what looked like a whip route.
He did have him open in the flat out there with a little bit of space. So if they had been able to connect, if the receiver had known that he was actually in that play.
Yep. He did have Cisneros closing on him, but he would have been able to get a couple yards. That brings up a third down still with 26 to go. Vaqueros have a tight end towards the top of the screen, 2 receivers at the bottom of the screen. Soft coverage, but we do have a timeout being called by Irvine. Coach wasn't happy with whatever they were doing. And this is the tough part about having such a schedule as Irvine did. You walk in 6-1. You're now in a position where you're down by a team that will not let up on the gas. You think you're coming back into this game. A quick return takes out the steam from you. And this is your opportunity now to work through adversity. El Toro's been working through adversity its entire preseason. Tough game after tough game after tough game. So they know how to deal with it when the situation calls for it. Irvine's learning on the go. They're kind of building the race car while they're driving it. And from what I'm seeing, the body language on the sideline, the body language from the coaches and the players on the field, it's not quite built yet. And I will tell you, El Toro is walking around with some swagger.
Yeah, it's one thing to build confidence. It's another thing to teach a team how to work through that adversity, like you were saying, Brian. And that's the one thing that I think El Toro has done a fantastic job of. They went to Las Vegas. They got down big early.
Yep.
Had some big plays called back for them. But still, they fought. And they fought all the way to the end and managed to make it a 3-point game at the very end.
Oh, it's going to be that quick punt again. Nobody back to return it, so it's going to end up falling and stopping near the 50-yard line. They do line up as if they were going to be running a play, end up punting the ball. Nobody was back there for it. It does come to rest on the Irvine 49-yard line, where your El Toro Chargers will be taking over. Let's see what this offense is able to do. Now, there's plenty of time left on the clock. 6 minutes and 29 seconds. Let's see what we do. Do we go back to our running game, which was working so well for us the last play? Do we start going for those short passes again? It's like El Toro has plenty of options. 2 receivers top and bottom of your screen. Micaiah Chi is in the backfield. No, he's not. Oh, he is. I saw the shoes. The pass is completed to Bryce Thacker, who fumbles the ball. They're going to call it a fumble. They're going to call it a fumble with Irvine taking over. That is a signal from the referee on our side. Our players are saying, nope, it was incomplete. They're going to come together and talk about it. What's going to be the discussion? They're going to go to the back judge. This is the back judge that called the touchdown short. I don't think he was watching because his body language coming forward was like, oh, darn. Should I have been watching that? So when it comes to control or catch, it's a catch, 2 steps, and a football move. They're going to say it was a fumble, and they're going to give the ball to the Vaqueros. Okay. So that was a quick outing for the offense. I could argue against that being ruled a fumble, but I don't think the back judge was watching closely enough. And so he couldn't argue against it. And the referee closest to us made the call based on what he thought he saw. Now, he does have responsibility for that receiver during that play, but he was barely moving up the line. Either way, just like the weather, you can complain about it, but you can't change it. Unless you believe in seeding clouds. And I don't. So El Toro defense is back out on the field. Let's see if they can shut them down again like they did the last drive. Even though it was a fumble recovery for Irvine, body language still stays low. There's a tight end towards the bottom of your screen, 2 receivers at the top of the screen. Softer coverage by the defense, bringing a 3-man rush with a twist. Ball is thrown big towards the sideline. Intended receiver is number 22, who is covered like peanut butter and jelly on toast by Braden Stewicki. Even had that ball been thrown in bounds, it still would have probably been picked off or taken care of by Stewicki. Does fall incomplete. 2nd down and 10 for the Vaqueros. See what I don't like about this huddle they do? That receiver that just ran that 30, 40-yard route has to go all the way across the field to go pick up the play just to run back to our sideline. It's a lot of extra steps. And even though I'm not on the screen, folks, I'm a little on the big side. I count my steps.
I'm not complaining, Brian.
Yeah.
I'm here to root for El Toro, so
yeah,
I'm not complaining. Let him run across the field.
Three-man pressure again. The ball does get completed to number 8 for Irvine. Very soft coverage. Oh, sorry, that was number 0 for Irvine, Fogarty. The coverage was almost giving that reception. Everybody kept backing out, almost like a prevent type of defense. Not my favorite, but I'm sure there's a strategy in the cap attack here, and they're going for it, so I'm not going to question it yet. So, first down and 10. Ball is on the 49-yard line for El Toro. This time the linebackers are walking up. We're showing 5 on the line. Snap is good. Receivers go out. Quick pass up to the top of your screen. The receiver is pushing through some of our defensive backs who had a little bit of a tough time bringing him down. Does gain just shy of 20 yards. Couldn't tell you who the receiver was, but he was being covered by Cisneros at the top of the screen. Ball is advanced to the 29-yard line for El Toro. Let's see if now we start tightening up this defense a little bit. Reminder, folks, the score is 24-12 in favor of El Toro. There is an injured player kind of on the field. There's an injured player that was from the sideline for Irvine. I don't think he was involved with the plays, but he goes down with a apparent leg injury. They get him up, move him a little bit back. They're going to start this clock back up soon. A little bit of confusion. I think El Toro thought it was a called timeout, but it was just a referee's timeout. They bring their defense back out. Referee wants to come and have a chat with the clock operator. He's going to be adding some time back on the clock. It's going to go up to 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Yep, 5 minutes and 20 seconds back on the clock, and they're going to wind it from there. So they added 9 more seconds to the play clock. Tight end at the top of the screen. It's going to be a pass. Oh, completed to number 3, who gets right behind the linebackers. He was being covered by Stevenson, who that tight end gets behind him. That is number 3, Cole Riedel. He's the second leading receiver for the Vaqueros. That does bring him into the red zone, deep into the red zone. The ball is on the 8-yard line. Oh, they're trying to get some pep in their step again. It's going to be a gift to number 32. Finds his way to the outside. Does get met by a few players. Gains 3 yards, maybe 4. They're going to spot him at the 4-yard line. It'll be second down and goal from what appears to be the 4th. Yep. From the 4-yard line. Clock is still going with 4 minutes and 43 seconds. It is a 12-point differential in this game. Irvine comes up quick. 2 running backs set. Typically, they've started running power off of this. And there will be an off tackle. Gets met at the original line of scrimmage. The announcer on the field says gain of 1. I'm going to say no gain because the box man's not moving. This will be third down and goal now from the 4. Clock keeps winding. We're down to 4 minutes left. Bringing in a little more beef at the nose tackle position. Still 1 running back, tight end at the top of the screen. Here comes your motion across to the right. Quarterback's going to go back to pass, find his man in the end zone. Wide open was number 22 for a touchdown for Irvine. That is Smith-Spivey, senior. A little bit of confusion. The motion, I think, changes the coverage as far as who's got who and what formation. He comes right up the seam. Nobody covers him. He was able to get that ball for a 4-yard completion. And finally, the swinging door business is closed. They do have a kicker. He will be kicking this ball in a traditional PAT formation. Snap is good. Ball is down and up. It is through the uprights, giving them 1. That makes it a 7-point gain. That'll put them within 5 of El Toro. Score now is 24-19, with Irvine kicking the ball off with 3:44 left in the game. After today, Irvine will be traveling to Troy High School on the 24th of October. Sorry, no, they will be hosting Troy High School, and they will be hosting Sonora High School to close out their season. After today, El Toro is traveling to Santa Ana for a Thursday night football game at the Bowl. If you've never gone to the Bowl and you're an El Toro fan, and obviously because you can't hear me at that game, you want to make it out to that game. The Bowl's a special place. It's right next to a prison, so it makes it interesting. But it's a fun, big stadium. It is a true bowl. So make it out to that game, and then we close out the season on Halloween against Troy High School at Troy. Here we go. El Toro's expecting an onside kick, so their hands team is out. And that's the formation Irvine is lined up in. They do pooch kick and onside kick. It does get recovered very quickly. Who was that on the recovery there? That was kick to number 9, Nova Cisneros. The hands team was out there for that. We do get the ball at the 45-yard line. Irvine's coach is coming out to have a conversation with somebody. Nope, I misspoke. That was the ball man for Irvine. So El Toro has 1st and 10 from their 45-yard line. Great field position. 3 minutes, 43 seconds left. Irvine only has 1 timeout left, and so does El Toro. El Toro is able to bleed the clock if they want to, or just go for the touchdowns. Irvine set with 4 men on the line of scrimmage. They bring 4. The ball is to give it to Micaiah Chief. Finds his crease. Goes down after gaining what appears to be 2 yards. I think a turf monster might have got him a little bit on that, but he does come off the field a little gingerly. McCade Romo takes over for him. It'll be 2nd down and 8 from the 47-yard line. Clock is still winding. 3 minutes, 15 seconds left. We're going to have Bryce Thacker at the bottom of the screen, with Tatau and Arroyo at the top of the screen. Here comes pressure from Irvine. The give is to McCade Romo. Fights his way forward through those men. Gains about another 3 or so yards. The ball is brought down. It's finally brought down. They're going to spot him at the 49-yard line. Just past the 49-yard line. So they have almost 6 yards to go. This will be 3rd down. That is Jaden Christensen as the wingback, number 85. Changed his jersey out. He was a different number prior to today, but maybe because they're using him as a wingback, he had to change his number. Because in high school, your offensive linemen have to be 50s, 60s, and I think 70s. It's going to be a timeout by El Toro. 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in the game. I saw Coach Lofthouse sprint his way down the sideline to call that timeout. Maybe trying to see what the defensive lineup was going to be. Well, this is exciting. This is where you get, like, this reminds me of baseball small ball, right? Okay, we're playing the team. Scoring touchdowns wins the game, but the game is still a timed event. So how do we bleed X number of seconds off the clock to make sure that they're not given opportunities to do anything with the ball? It is a one-possession game. It's a 5-point game. So a touchdown for Irvine could win the game for them.
Yeah, I think at minimum, El Toro's going to want a field goal on this drive. At a minimum, I think they would love another touchdown, put them up, make Irvine have to score 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
But if they can at least get a field goal and force them to get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, just to tie it, I think that's the goal right here.
Yep. So here we go. 3-man front, maybe pressure off the edge, and they do bring pressure off the edge. The give is to Micaiah Chi, gets a first down plus
he's
more.
He's got space.
He's done. Good luck, number 11. Good luck catching him. He pushes him off. It doesn't matter because that is a touchdown by Micaiah Chi. No flags on the field. I'm saying that freezes it to me. That touchdown is huge. That was a 50-plus yard touchdown by Micaiah Chi. He easily had the first down. He fought his way up there. He got the first down. He had players around him, but decides to cut across and makes it all the way to the end zone. 1 minute, 58 seconds left in the game. The score now is 30-19. So it is an 11-point difference, trying to make it 12. Kick is up. Snap was a little low, but handled by Nucci. It is good. 31-19. 12-point game. So it's a 2-possession game. 2-touchdown game minimum. With the minute 58, the way the defense has been playing, this is going to be a tough hill to climb for Irvine to get back into this game. They're going to need to score. They're going to need an onside kick. And they're going to need to score again with another touchdown.
Well, I can tell you where kick is going to end up.
Yep. You're predicting the end zone also? Because I'm predicting the end zone. Here we go. The 2 return guys for Irvine are now standing on the end zone line. I think they're hoping that it's just slightly short so they can try to return, so they're not pinned back on the 20-yard line. D'Amato's going to say, nah, I'm just going to kick it over your head. Here we go. Kick is up. It's going in the end zone. There's no doubt about where that ball is going, and there it is. The ball will be placed on the 20-yard line. No time came off the clock, so it's still 1:58 left. 80 yards is what Irvine's going to need to make this a game. The defense has an opportunity to do something. Irvine has 1 timeout left. So they do have to be cognizant of where they're going to be passing this ball or running this ball, keeping it out of the middle of the field, preferably, or finding those sidelines. Here we go. 3 down linemen, a little bit soft on the coverage by El Toro. No extra pressure being shown. They just bring 3, try to contain the quarterback, who's looking around, tries to complete a pass to the outside, and he does. The receiver does not go out of bounds. The clock will stop because it's a first down, but it'll be started right away. Irvine's going to need to start working on its hurry-up offense in order to get back into this game. The clock is winding again, 1 minute 35 now, and clicking. They're not moving with a lot of urgency. 3 receivers at the bottom of your screen. When they do this, they might motion a guy over. They don't. It's going to be a pass towards the bottom. It is completed to their tight end. Number 22 makes it to the midfield, gets tackled by Matthew Arroyo on the 50-yard line. Clock will stop while they place the ball, and then start it back up right away. Clock is winding. It is 1 minute 15 left on the clock. This is not a very quick hurry-up offense for Irvine, and it's going to be a false start, so that'll stop the clock. Whoa. If you get a chance, folks, rewind and watch the official at the bottom of the screen. The flourish that he throws his flag just kind of rolls off and goes to the left like immediately. And as soon as he lets it go, goes immediately into the roll to signal the formation. Like, that guy's been looking in the mirror practicing that. You all need to watch that. It'll be 1st and 15 now from the 45-yard line. 3 rushers for El Toro. They're not looking for the pressure. They're looking for the coverage. Oh, off the fingertips of Matthew Arroyo. Just past him. He was looking for that 5th interception. That does stop the clock for Irvine. 52 seconds left in the game. Ball is still at the 45-yard line, 2nd and 15. Let's see what we find out from this defense now. It's going to probably still be 3 down linemen. That's what it looks like. It's a 2-high safety look. Bit of a cloud. Quattro Schindels moving towards the bottom of the screen. Moving Achilles Segura towards the top. Motion man goes towards the top. Snap is good. It is a pass. Quarterback's looking to throw. He does complete the ball. They're going to give it to him on the sideline. The ball is completed at the 37-yard line. Quarterback does take a big hit on that pass play. Clock is stopped while they set the chains. They're going to call him inbounds or out of bounds. They're going to say he was out of bounds, and they're not winding the clock. 45 seconds left in the game. Tight end towards the top of the screen. Keep your eye on him. Snap is good. It's going to be a pass again to number 22 at the top. Taken out of bounds, but they will... That's a bad call, Mr. Official. He went out of bounds backwards. That's an inbounds play because forward progress was inbounds. Anyways, the ball gets spotted at the 30-yard line. Clock is stopped for an unknown reason. And it is 2nd down and 2 for Irvine. 40 seconds left. This is feeling exciting, but it feels like a false sense of excitement. It's still a Herculean effort to try and overcome the 12-point differential. El Toro is set. 3-man front. Still playing a bit soft on the coverage. 2 high safeties. Snap is good. The intended receiver. Oh, fumble or not? Fumble or not? They're going to call it incomplete. Tuck rule is in effect today, folks. That is an incomplete pass. The clock is stopped with 34 seconds. The hit was by number, I think it was 52 for El Toro. .52 is going to be Mason Hogan, senior. 3rd down and 4. Tight end at the top of the formation. They're going to go with the motion towards the bottom, making it trips, hoping to get him lost again in the coverage. But this time, he's under pressure. Quarterback's going to decide to throw it. It's completed to number 22 for a touchdown. That is a touchdown. We do have 24 seconds left in the game. That'll make the score 31-25. So the Vaqueros are showing life here at the end. Same play that we saw earlier on the earlier touchdown that went for 4 yards. They motioned their man down. It confused the defense just enough to give them a seam to get the ball. No swinging gate nonsense again. They're going to go ahead and just get the extra point. If they make it, it'll put the game within 5.
I don't know if you saw that, Brian. On that play, the Irvine
kick was put under pressure by Kostick, number 33, hits the bottom of the uprights and falls no good. We do have a 6-point difference. What were you going to say, Nate?
The receiver for Irvine, one of the receivers deep, was holding the El Toro defender, which caused the other receiver to get open, and there was no flag. That back judge has allowed so much to go on. There should have been a flag on that. And there was nothing, and the result is a touchdown for Irvine. They should not have gotten that touchdown.
Yep, it's what we're playing with today. I've questioned some of the way the calls have come a bit from that portion of the field. I'm trying to find the nice way to say it, the not too biased way. I've been out there. Sometimes the games can be a little bit big. Okay, as of now, they're looking like a regular kick, but the hands team is out there for El Toro. And yep, of course, they're going to be setting up for the onside. The hands team is moved forward. They're waiting for this squib to come in. The squib comes in. It gets handled, and that should close this out. So it's 24 seconds left in the game. El Toro just needs to snap the ball twice because Irvine does have 1 timeout left. So after this first snap, in what is, I believe, the most beautiful formation in football, which is the victory formation, that will close out this game. With that, the Vaqueros will move down to 6-2 for this season, 2-1 in league. This will put El Toro at 3-0 in league and at 4-4 for the season, putting them back at 500. That'll put El Toro tied for first place within the league. Irvine will not be taking their timeout, and that will end the game for us today, folks. Final score, El Toro 31, Irvine 25. Irvine makes it exciting at the end, but that does close it out, folks. You will not be hearing me again unless we get a playoff home game. So make sure you make your way out next week on Thursday to the Santa Ana Bowl on October 23rd, or make it out to Troy on Halloween, October 31st. For Nate, unless you have anything to say.
No, Brian, it's been a fun season so far. We hope to host a playoff game here.
Yep.
So hopefully we get to jump on here again. But it has been a fun season, and look forward to the end and to see if we can bring this championship home.
Yep, for our viewers at home, thank you for joining us, either live or on replay. Thank you so much for joining us this season. Hopefully we get to see you one more time. Be safe tonight, take care of each other, and have a wonderful day.